Well, I have good news for you all. It's D&D time.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Only
stuff.
we are still waiting for Starion.
They're on the way.
They're on the way. We're all waiting on Starion's dog to finish pooping, and then we will be.
Yeah.
Good timing there.
Yeah, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, perfect.
Excellent.
Bam. Hello.
Hey, hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing, because of course he hasn't gone all day, and then 8:30 hits, and he's suddenly like, "Hey, I have to go," and I'm like,
Really?
Yeah.
mhm.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're here. We're here. It's D&D time. And so we awaken in the city of Arkala. It's overcast, and the streets are a bit muddy with a persistent drizzle that started sometime in the middle of the night and has persisted into the early morning.
Ward just pops off his pillow. He's like, "Oh no, I got another one of those dreams." He doesn't know what to make of it because he's like, "Oh, this is like the third dream I've had."
Yeah.
Clume awakes like a little bit after Quinn, because Quinn's like, he's the nerd, so he's always up early doing a little research.
Wow.
You're a nerd.
Wow.
You
Wow.
have a night.
Personally.
But so Clume's kind of just like sitting on top of like the counter, just drinking coffee, just waiting for Quinn to finish up whatever they're doing, so that way they can head out.
So, did you have that dream last night as well?
Quinn kind of just like, she sips her coffee, kind of like calmly. She seems a little calm for today. Oh, like normally she has like a couple of little like black bags under her eyes. But today kind of seemed like they're actually starting to slowly go away. And she kind of just like looks up at Quinn kind of curiously, and she's like, "What dream?"
And am I allowed to roll a perception check?
Like investigation or
this sort of thing might
something.
be an insight check.
Yeah.
Kind of tell if like Clume's not really telling him the whole truth.
Sure.
So insight, you said?
Yep. Ooh.
Oh,
What'd you roll?
Oh,
I got an 18.
Ooh.
Okay. So, Clume, are you intentionally trying to deceive? Or do you seriously just don't remember?
Clume is not. It's just Quinn would know that since Clume has been plagued with like nightmares before, Clume kind of just doesn't pay much attention to any bad dreams she has anymore.
just jaded
That's
towards
fair.
bad dreams.
Whether it be before going into his reverie the night before or after, because Audrey only needs about 4 hours of
Sleep.
well, not even sleep, it's more of a meditation, I guess.
Oh, okay.
He's going to settle in with that pilfered book.
Right.
Go
Oh,
through it just to see if there's anything, insightful or relevant.
Yes. Predation of Kings, Cleaving Myth from Fact. It was the book that you stole off of the repair desk of Lady Skibakut. And it doesn't take you long to figure out that this book doesn't have much information that is of use to you.
Ugh.
It is a political diatribe about a political party that existed within Arkala about 125 years ago, and how a scandal within that political party became talk of the town, which became rumors that quickly spread out of hand as various political parties vied for attention. And this book came out as a defender of the political party at the time, wanted to set the record straight. Unfortunately, at that time, this was one of those kinds of books that the masses really didn't have access to. So it did a whole heck of a lot of nothing, but exists to this day as a record of the mood and political, I guess, sensitivity of the time. Okay.
So yeah, that done, he'll just head for the axe and boot.
Good old axe and boot. And I'm assuming the rest of you are going to do the same.
Axe and boots.
Yes. I mean, Warren lives there, so.
Quite.
Warren do live there, yes. So,
Yeah.
And so we are.
And so you are indeed.
Is Winnie there twice?
No. Don't worry about it. Don't
Worry about what? Worry about
Exactly.
what?
Nothing.
I think we found our mimic.
Yeah.
There he was.
It was actually this brightly colored feline
Okay, there we
the
go.
whole time.
Axe and boots and axe and boots.
X and boots and X and boots.
Okay, Ifany comes over, takes your order, and brings out the breakfast plates for you all with some
Breakfast.
morning drinks.
Breakfast.
And then lets you converse and talk and, go over the night's events and what the day may hold.
So,
Alrighty.
did you all have the dream again last night, or was that just me?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Quinn just gives a solemn nod of his head.
Right. I do believe we're gonna have to do something about that tree sooner or later.
Are we sure it's a bad tree? I know it hurts people, but it's not running around and hurting anyone, on purpose.
Aye, that's part of the problem.
Clue
We-
kind of like. Oh, sorry.
We don't really know what it's up to yet.
I'm kind of she looks at Quinn and kind of like looks at Uris and then she says, "Oh, so you guys actually are having the same dream."
Aye, as we've been discussing previously.
Yes, and it's unfortunate because this tree could be my deity. Though I did have another dream about a landslide. I don't know of any deities that are landslidey.
I would be inclined to think the tree is not your deity.
But I did touch it and it did get more powerful when I did.
It, yes. You, no.
Clume kind of she kind of like shrugs her shoulders and kind of like puts her hands together and she kind of like she says, "Wouldn't surprise me if this is the first time a god came out of someone meddling with something else."
I didn't do it on purpose.
Whatever it is, I don't believe it to be a god yet. Certainly. It's still too... rooted, perhaps?
Clume gives you like the fucking like, "Are you kidding me? Look."
Warren just kind of deadpan. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say Audrey's just gonna chime in and just to stir the pot say,
Oh no.
the landslide was probably Rocky's god. Just to mess with Warren.
Warren just
Roll
has
a
this.
deception check.
The perception check. Oh my god.
No,
Warren-
deception.
No.
Deception? Okay. Oh
Warren
god.
Warren just fails. He's like,
Or it
oh, right
could
you
know,
are.
so.
It's like, oh, oh yes, that's right. And then he pulls up Rocky from under
Oh my god.
the table, puts it on the table, and he's like, yes, I haven't quite figured out what he eats yet. Maybe this is true. He might be a sign. Ah, yes, he has come here to guide me on my path. If only I could communicate with him. Ah, yes. But I'll have to feed him first. I still haven't figured that out yet. He takes like a bit of bacon. He kind of just pokes it at the various points at the rock.
You can loudly hear Clume face palming.
Warren.
Yes.
I'm... As a dwarf, you should give me a little trust in this. I can tell you for certain that that's not how rocks eat.
Oh, this is true. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. First, you must tell me, how does one take care of a rock?
Well,
Clearly they're vegan.
Oh,
For the most part, rocks are what we call inanimate objects.
I don't know what that means.
Yes, inanimate.
This means.
I'm sorry, did you just have a stroke?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Why, of course, we're going to be dealing with the Antics today. Still have a little bit before the big beastie gets to the walls.
Then off you go, following the path that Quinn marked out. You start to head north from the city walls. Winding your way northwards, the trail gets a little bit slippery as it goes up a slight incline. You can see where a small creek has developed into a larger flow of burbling water to your side. But eventually you do make it to the Ankeg Den, and Quinn, I'm assuming you point it out as you start to approach.
No, I'm just gonna let us all walk right into. Yes, he
Do. Everyone, just let Warren walk right into it. Just warn everybody else but Warren.
Yeah, right.
God.
Yeah, just waits till Warren's in front and then puts an arm out to stop everybody else.
Right. Okay, now he's gonna be bait. He's gonna drive on it. No.
Oh my god.
The entrance to the cave is rocks piled up and sealed by mucus. Under the patter of the rain, the mucus seems to shine a little bit more vibrantly, like oil mixing with water.
Then Bloom kind of like turns her head towards the others and she's like, I think it's clear. And then she looks at Warren. Should we send him in first?
Well, that would be the traditional marching order.
Ah, perfect. I am, yes, quite the wall of justice. Yes, I will,
Like, "Shh."
Oh.
If you're gonna do your speech, wait until we at least kill some things.
Right
That
you
way,
are.
your gods will be more interested that way.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yes, and that'll also be, that will aid in their ability to be intimidated, and then they'll surrender. Oh, good thinking, small mushroom girl.
You audibly hear another Clume face palm.
Just a gentle slap.
Little slap.
Okay, so, all right, do you guys head into the cavern?
Yeah, I think if we don't see anything else outside that we'd be concerned about.
Real quick, so
Yes.
I think we should all, obviously go in stealthily. But
baby.
I know that a lot of us here. Well, actually, I think Clume's the only one that doesn't have disadvantage on stealth. So I'm gonna do everybody a favor here and cast Pass Without a Trace.
Oh, okay, what does that do?
Yeah.
So if we make any stealth checks, no matter what, we add +10 to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you wish
Super
to,
useful.
go ahead and make a group stealth check. And I'll add the +10 in my head, or you guys can add the +10 as you announce it.
Why did I roll 2? Oh,
You have disadvantage.
Yeah.
I
You got
don't.
11 there.
I don't, because I'm wearing robes.
Oh.
Well, yours will actually be a 21, and then Audrey has a 29. Born has a
Yup.
23.
Jeez.
I have a
Ooh.
what is that? A 13?
12.
Yeah. So,
20, not 22.
yeah, 20, so I have a 23. So we're all in the 20s.
Nice.
So yeah, we've got
Wow.
21, 29, 23, 26 it looks like, and then 22 as stealth checks as this Pass
Barely.
Without Trace spell draws the shadows to you, muffling sound that you make, even muffling the sounds of the heavy armor that some of you are wearing. You approach the cave and carefully dip inside of it, and immediately you see that it is quite dry in here. The Ankeg, the clever beasts they are, crafted the entrance in such a way that the water from the rain would not flow in, even though after the foyer, if you could call it that, it dips slightly downwards. Entering this cave, probably the first thing that hits you, aside from the darkness, is the stench. It is a moldy,
Ugh.
scent of decay that makes the air feel heavy with all manner of biological material. You catch a mix that smells like rotting food, decaying corpses, and the detritus of rotting plant matter. It's stanky. It's heckin' stanky. Yeah, exactly. How many? Which of you have dark vision, by the way?
Me.
Not
Most of us.
Warren.
I do.
Yeah, I think everyone but Warren does.
Yeah.
Really?
I have,
Oh,
dark
wow.
vision. I have dark vision up to 120 feet.
Damn. Okay,
I
great.
have 60, up to 60 feet. Let me
So
see
let
something
me
real
see
fast.
how far that is. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole
Very far.
the whole cave. Well, good thing for me. I can just reveal that for
Oh my god. Just see everything.
Just bam.
in shades of gray. You can look ahead and you can see how the cave winds. It looks like much of this may have been natural, and then other parts have been scratched and dug out and made to be more suitable for the beasts that have called this place home. At first glance, you see nothing. And it's quite quiet. You can hear the rain pattering from behind you, but it only takes a few feet stepping in for even that sound to become distant.
Okay.
Now, you all can see, Warren, you're effectively blind.
Yep. He's just like, he just walk.
Poor Warren.
He's got his hands out, his little claws out in the front, just waving them around, like trying to find a wall.
He is crying.
Quinn would notice and would take out the lantern that he carries on him and hand it over to Warren
It's like,
Go.
oh,
after lighting it for him.
perfect. Thank you. I was having a bit of a trouble there. Hold out, Rocky. Yes, Rocky will see
Rocky
for
has
me.
dark vision.
Let him be
has
your
dark-
eyes.
Yes. Rocky shall guide me.
Christ.
Quinn and Clume and Urist, you see places mostly along the ground where the earth has been disturbed. It has been burrowed through, tossed and turned. You see holes in the cave walls, small, maybe only about the size of, your head. I would say Quinn's head, because Clume's head is rather large and Adre's head is rather large. And Warren's head is rather large.
Wow.
So
it's
probably
not my
more like Quinn's head.
It's not my head, okay?
Well, yeah, but I didn't want to give you the wrong idea. But probably about the size of Quinn's head. They're dotted seemingly randomly along the walls of this space. And Clume, because of your high perception, you can hear a gentle clicking, chittering sound in the distance.
Clue's kind of like, she's like, shh, can you hear that? And like she kind of like starts looking around.
Quinn would strain his ears, but he can't pick up on exactly what she's hearing. So he just kind of gives a little shake of his head.
Maybe it's because Clume is closer to the ground.
Yeah, you know.
So, why don't we head up this path?
Okay, so Warren is gonna move. Just like
no one patted your back yet.
okay, okay, all right.
So
Warren's
don't go
not.
running ahead.
He just takes off. It's like Warren, no, come back. Bad way to go. Sit.
Just let him go.
The air gets thicker the further in you go, and even just this little bit of progress makes it a little bit, it feels like your lungs are heavy in this space. It is a large tunnel and cave, and you're not all that far away from the exit, but a combination of the humidity and the stench just digs at you. Stepping forward, you start passing some of the little holes in the wall. And looking inside any of them, you can't see anything, even with your dark vision. They seem to quickly curve and turn, and go in all sorts of directions from the entrance of each little hole in the wall or in the ceiling. And so what do? Do you press on?
Quite.
Okay.
Yep. Warren just
I was going to
he's
say, Audrey's going to defer to the others because he doesn't actually need to breathe, so...
Okay.
it's just like
Wow.
The air's not bugging him at all.
just sometimes we wonder if he's like, is he dead? He like doesn't move.
Press further in and come across piles of bones that have been picked clean. Looks like a variety of different animals, rabbits, a bear, a couple
Andre
of
is staying
creatures.
clear of those.
Very good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Audrey's probably not gonna want to go by it.
Nope.
And so you push forward into a space where it begins to open up.
Very good.
The little chittering and clicking sound that Clume picked up on before, now you all hear very easily.
Now, you said it was coming from deeper in?
It's coming from all around you. I need you to roll initiative.
Remember to click your token first.
Yep, click your
Yeah.
token first. You feel that now you are being hunted.
Uh-oh.
And just as that feeling comes upon you, the Ankeg begin to swarm. And you see them crawling out of the holes, crawling up from the ground, coming about from nests,
No.
and rising out of the earth
Oh shit.
to pounce.
Oh, that one's big.
The Ankeg waste no time getting a chance to come upon you and attack with mandibles clicking and scythed talons striking out at you. So the Ankeg swarm in, approaching quickly, dashing up from the ground as rubble and rock burst from their arrival as they attempt to attack each of you in turn. The first one will go after Urist in its attack, which will be a bite.
Bumpers.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's a 23.
Yeah, that's a hit.
what a great start.
That will do 12 points of damage.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, we're in for it now.
The next one is going to attack Warren with a bite.
Come at me, bro.
With a 13.
That just plinkos off his arm, or he just shoulder checks the bug.
Well, isn't that nice? And the next one will attack Quinn with a 9.
let's go.
That's not it. That's
You-
not it.
Warren's armor takes the hit, and you quickly shoulder check it to get its mandibles off of you. Quinn, you deftly step away, dodging its slashing mandibles as you go. This brings it immediately to Urist. You having been bit, what do you do?
All right, Urst gets one of the crossbows back into the holster, so to speak, and we'll go ahead and hit the bug right back with a... Let's see, with the position and such. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit it with a vicious mockery.
Okay.
Get back, you segmented sausage. It's not quite time for something like that.
This segmented sausage.
DC 13 wisdom save or suffer 3 psychic damage and disadvantage on the next attack.
Okay. Wisdom save coming up. Oh,
my God.
Jeebus.
Jesus Christ.
It only has a +1 to its wisdom, but that's a good roll. All right. This one is hungry for you.
Really?
Does it do anything on a successful save?
No, sadly not.
Okay.
So,
But that is a one action. Okay, what else do you do?
since that was a cantrip, let's go ahead and toss off a healing word on herself.
Bloom, being in the middle of the group, sort of, kind of, seeing all these things swarm all around, Clume takes out her wooden quarterstaff, and you kind of just see her just like frantically shaking spores off her head, and she grabs some in her hand, and she kind of like, like clenches it really hard and slams into the ground, which causes a bunch of spores to just spread all around her. And I'm gonna cast Wither and Bloom.
Okay, go for
Which
it.
I'm going to center it on myself, which
Okay.
means, let me just double check. Each creature of my choice within 10 feet now has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. What's the DC on that?
So 14. That means all 4 of the big ones have to make it.
All 4, yeah, because that one is within
Yep.
10 feet as well. Okay, here we go. So here will be the very big one. It gets a 15.
So he takes 3 points of necrotic damage.
3 points of necrotic damage. Very good. Then the big one in front of Warren gets a 16.
So
I'm
3
assuming the
points.
same. 3 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they all take half if they succeed.
The one in front of Quinn gets a
So
12.
6.
6
points.
Good.
Nice, nice.
And then finally, the one that nibbled a little bit on Urist gets a 10.
6.
So that will take 6 as well. Very good.
And let me double
Nice.
check something. Fuck. I wish you didn't move, honestly, Udist. I could have
no.
healed you in the area.
No.
That's
well,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
It's fine.
So now, I am going to, because Goblin privileges, bonus action disengage,
Nice.
and
Where
I
are
am
you
going
disengaging to?
to be,
Okay, you
so
scoot
that,
out
yeah.
of the way.
I'm going to. Audrey clasps his hands together into a sort of spherical shape and mutters his incantation. And back here, behind the. I know Riley can see that. I don't know anybody else can.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
All right. Behind the Ankegs, a sphere of lichen and moss and mushrooms all coalesce together, growing in amongst each other before bursting into green eldritch flame.
Ooh.
Right, very cool.
Spellcasters,
right.
am I right?
Yeah. Very nice.
And
Okay.
casting a flaming sphere.
Okay.
So anything within 5 feet of it at the end of their turn takes 2d6 damage if they can't make that
Dexterity.
DC dex save. And as my bonus action for the turn, I'm going to grab that sphere and slam it over to the right. It stops
Very
as it
nice.
hits the one bug,
Okay, very good.
and
So-
it's for make the reflex save that turn.
So this doesn't go off immediately. It's if they start, or no, it's they end their turn within 5 feet of the
Yes.
sphere.
Yes.
Okay. They make it.
However, the one that it
you
hits,
slam it into it, and then they must make a saving throw against sphere's damage, and then it stops moving. Very good. Okay.
Dex
great.
save.
also,
Dex save.
it gives a bright light source for Ward,
Okay.
and anything flammable within 20 feet of it, or sorry, not within 20 feet, but anything it hits that is not being held and is flammable ignites.
Very good. Okay. At that, you do see some detritus and debris from, foliage kind of ignite and flare up for a moment, but it quickly just kind of dies away. There's not enough flammable material in this area. But the bug is going to make a dexterity check. It does get a 17.
Dang.
But that will take half of that damage, which is going to be 4.
Yeah.
So, one's like, finally! I was getting tired of the sneaking thing. I'm not very good at it. So he drops the lantern on the floor, and then he pulls out a shield, and he's gonna scooch. Is this gonna mess you up, Clume, if he moves here?
No?
Okay. And now he's gonna go for the big boy, because obviously you gotta go for the big one. The bigger the target, the better.
Okay,
So bonus action, so he goes to swing, and something peculiar happens, right?
Okay.
So he goes up and he's like, all right, you foul beasts, prepare yourselves. What was that
Very
for?
good.
Okay.
That was for leaving the range of this one's
that one.
reach.
Gotcha.
Oh.
War doesn't even notice. He doesn't even notice.
Doesn't even notice as a mandible, as a side leg reaches up and tries to scratch at you just feebly. Okay, so you go ahead and you attack the big one.
Warren doesn't realize, like, so he walks up and he's making his big speech, right? Because he was promised one of these.
He was.
He's
Like, Clume for once is actually kind of like egging him on to do it.
it's like, oh god, you vile beasts! You will suffer the wrath of whatever god has blessed me in my glorious combat to rid your filth from this world. And as he does that, his warhammer glows with a powerful might.
Okay.
And so first he's gonna swing. Let's see if he hits.
Let's go, Warren. Let's go.
That absolutely.
That's
All right.
22.
So
Let's go.
his bonus action was to use Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
So that's in addition to the bludgeon damage that I didn't roll. Hold on.
Yeah, just click the where it says Warhammer
Yeah.
one-handed on your.
So that's a total of 18 damage. Now he needs to make a strength check, and if he
19
fails, or 19 damage, and if he fails his strength check, he flies back 10 feet and is prone. And so for
Well, it absolutely failed that strength check. So it goes 10 feet this way.
and falls prone.
And
Unless it can't be prone.
Oh my god.
These
So-
can be prone, yes.
Okay,
So I will mark that with a little net thing.
it
little
does
icon.
make, so for 300 feet, it makes a thunderous crack as it slams into this bug's
boy.
face. And Warren is like, Warren is very confused, right? He kind of looks at his Warhammer like, what happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Okay. Knocking on this thing with your massive warhammer as you use your all the righteous fury that you can summon to send this thing flying. You've never seen a bug that does not have the capability of flight fly, especially one this big. But crack as this resounding thunderous sound blasts through the narrow confines of the cave. I need all of you guys to make a Constitution check. Constitution save. I'm sorry. Constitution save.
Constitution save?
Okay.
Oh,
Jeez.
Dang.
Okay.
Oh boy.
24,
Of course, there
14.
goes my good roll.
confined space.
4.
Oh, no.
21.
Okay.
Causing problems over here.
And Warren.
Oh, okay. Con.
Should
Oh, con.
Okay, well.
Jeez,
All
con.
right. So, Warren, you and Clume are deafened for one turn.
Oh boy.
Did the Ankegs make a save?
They are going to. The next Ankegs are going to go. The one with the two with deafness are going to have disadvantages on their attacks. The one against Quinn, however, will attack normally. So here comes the bite at Quinn.
The bite of 87.
Oh, it's only 12. Oh, they're not rolling very good. The other ones, I'm just going to roll the 2d20 and see. This one's against Warren.
Oh my god.
Natural 20.
Dear God. Jesus.
Wow.
I can't do anything about that.
Okay, so that doubles their dice roll.
Oh no.
It's
Wow.
4d6 plus 3. It's an average roll. It's 14 damage
Ow.
as the
Yep.
bite.
Fairly rough.
A natural 40.
Ugh.
Holy crap. This one chunks Warren, biting through
God, I miss-
armor.
I miss standing, getting up as a move action right about now.
Yes. Well, so
Right.
now you are also grappled, and yes,
This got very bad.
Technically, by odds, it's not. It's not actually a 1 in 40 chance. That's a 1 in 400.
yeah, that's
All right,
a 1
you
in
know what?
400 to get.
You know
two
what?
Two crits with that. Yeah.
Mr. Grapply Boy, he you know, grapples Warren. Is like, oh, oh, and so he's screaming out something, and in as a reaction, he's going to hellish rebuke.
Okay. Oh, it's a
So you just-
9.
That's damage. It's hold on.
Oh.
I wish it would. Let's see.
There you go.
Oh, 2d10. Oh, roll 2d10 then.
Oh, it's 2d10 to
Yeah,
hit.
it's-
Okay.
So it needs to make a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC. Okay, DC 12. So
Yeah.
let's do the DC 12. It fails, so then roll
Oh,
2d10 for the fire damage.
Which I think was rolled.
You rolled a 20,
You rolled-
which I'm
yeah,
just going to
roll it as
dismiss
a
that.
D20.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever
I
it is,
see.
You've
I
got
see.
the attack profile set up weird.
I see.
That's strange.
Even
And-
better.
Good thing too. Okay, 14 damage as it bites into you, but then immediately lights up in flame. Now, that one also did end its turn in range of the flaming sphere, so it needs to make another dexterity check,
Save damage back.
which
Fails
then
that
fails
too.
and will take 9 damage.
Yep.
Please die.
We got the good crowd control going on.
Yeah, you guys did really
really.
good. Okay, so I did the one against Quinn and the one against Warren, and now here comes the one against Urist.
So sorry, the one against Warren got 2 attacks.
It was a disadvantage.
It was a disadvantage.
Yeah, he rolled 2 nat 20.
Gotcha. Okay.
So once again, I'm rolling 2d20, and then it will take the lower roll, so that's 13 plus 5 is 18.
That's still a hit.
That's still a hit. Okay. So this one is going to be another 2d6. Oh, it's a low roll. Okay, so 7 points of damage, and you are also grappled.
Is that any of that poison, or is that just raw?
That's just raw. I guess in this case it would be slashing damage.
Okay.
Now, is that Encake's turn done?
Yes, that Encake's turn is done. They are also no longer. They are no longer deafened because they have finished their turn.
So then, since its turn has ended,
Yes.
I'm going to use Quinn's reaction, and he is going to invoke the stone rune that is inscribed upon his shield on
Okay.
the end tag that attacked Orist, and it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And unless it succeeds, it's charmed for 1 minute. The DC is 12.
12. Okay, here we go. Wisdom saving throw. Here comes. 20. A dirty 20, but a 20 nonetheless.
Jeez.
They seem to be rolling pretty well.
They've turned it
either
around.
They roll really well or really
Yeah.
crappy. That we're in this strange spot right here. That double nat 20. That. Oof. Warren, you're gonna be hurting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
was
gonna be.
gross.
That was just painful.
That might leave a scar right there. So we're back to Urist, however. What do you got?
All right. First, given that they're not getting, given that the large NK right by it is the biggest threat to her certainly, and that she's not going to really have the. And that she's currently grappled and doesn't really have the power to push around any of the others efficiently.
Now
Let's
you
just
may
go
make
ahead
a
and
dexterity or strength check to escape the grapple.
Well, it's acrobatics or athletics. In case you have
Acrobatics or athletics, yes.
Yeah, in case you have proficiency in one of the two.
let's see. I think in this case, well, Urs is just going to drop vicious mockery on the Ankeg and deal with being grappled.
Okay,
Because
very nice. Very good.
grappling doesn't apply any other penalties other than can't move.
Right. However, I will warn you, until the grapple ends, the Ankeg will have advantage on attack rolls against you.
Is that typical?
That is a feature of the Ankeg.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yes. It's got you in its
Chompers.
jaws and it will begin digesting you.
Ugh.
No. In that case, it probably is better just to try to get out of it.
That might be wise. Go ahead and roll either acrobatics or athletics, whichever is higher.
All right. There we are.
No,
6.
okay, you're very, very much still stuck.
And does that take an action?
No, that would be like your, I think part of your movement or something like that. It does not take your entire action though.
All right, very good. In that case, we're still. Oh, actually. how far can these guys move?
They speedy.
They speedy.
They're about as speedy as you are. Let's put it that way.
Okay. And yeah, okay. That's at least a possibility then. Let's try unloading on this thing then. Ernst is going to head and just double checking to make sure that we have the. Yeah, it's just vocal. That's what I thought. So, Ernst unleashes dissonant whispers. She is absolutely not interested in what this thing's trying to get across. So she launches into a limitless tirade of insults that blend together in a foul, hushing bit of magic.
Oh no.
The likes of which are too strong for mortal ears to repeat.
Certainly. Though a few phrases do sidle on through. Things like pumpkin mothering, chitin bearing fop.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, perfect.
I won't bore you with the entire tirade.
Very good.
Anyway.
All right, do it to it.
So, it stands to take up to 7. It stands to take 7 damage, half on a successful save, I believe. And the bigger thing is if it fails.
Equal.
It does not.
Meets it, beats it. So, what happens if it beats it?
It simply takes half damage, so it takes 3 psychic damage, and that's about all I get.
Okay. Fair
But
enough.
in the meantime, once Ernst has had the tirade to cool off a little bit, Ernst also looks over and calls out, "Oi, lop ears! Get him out of your vision and go ahead and smack the thing already!" Tosses a inspiration die over to the dear bunny.
Okay, very good. So that's an extra 1d6 for a roll of their choice, effectively?
Yes, exactly. You have to apply it after you see what the number came up on the die, but you can call it up before you know what the result is. So, yeah, basically just don't give them the hit right away.
Sure, will do. Okay, is that your turn?
Yep, that's the whole thing.
Okay. Clume, you currently can't hear anything except for a loud ringing in your ears.
Okay. So let me just double check something real fast. So I go right here. Still in a bad spot. That won't hit. That would. 510. 510. 510. I wouldn't hit any of those though. Okay. Let's try this then.
Do it to it.
Let me just reread this spell and make sure I'm going to use this correctly.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is first. Let me ask this out real fast because I don't know how this would work. No, I know. Well, yeah, if I use a level spell, I can only use a cantrip afterwards, right?
All right.
Yes,
If I use a leveled spell, I can only use a cantrip afterwards, right?
Correct.
Okay. So then, if that's the case, I am going to. This could. Okay. I'm going to use Thorn Whip, my new cantrip that I just learned.
Ooh.
Against the big guy that's holding Udist. So.
Okay.
Well, actually, first, I'm still gonna do that, but I want to actually disengage first.
Doesn't that
Okay.
take an action?
For me, I'm a goblin, and I can use it as a bonus action.
Oh, right.
So, no opportunity attacks for the rest of the turn. So, I'm gonna reposition myself first, right here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Thorn Whip on the big guy that's holding Udist.
Okay.
So, let me cast that. This is a hit spell.
Oh.
Oh,
That's a bit of a whiffer, isn't it?
come on.
That's why I'm glad it's only a cantrip. But
Yep. Okay.
still disengaged, luckily, because I used that as my bonus action.
Yes.
And I have 25 feet of movement left. Let me just quickly check the distance. I'm going to go over. You know what? I'm just gonna back up 5 feet.
Okay, very good. And so you disengage from this foe, but if you do that, you will still be.
Doesn't disengage affect like everything for the rest of the turn?
No.
It's just one square, one threatened square.
No, you guys are thinking of the previous edition. In 5e, disengagement affects your entire movement for the rest of your turn.
And this is why we have Alex, everybody.
But disengaging, you act defensively for your turn. So when
So you're fine. You're fine.
No, it's all good. You don't. It's for the rest of your turn. You don't. Your movement doesn't provoke AOs.
I was wrong.
Damn Pathfinder players.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, Adre, you're up. What do you do?
Well, first thing I do is lifting the left hand, I point it directly into the face of the critter that's grappling Urist.
Okay.
And slam it in the face with 3 magic missiles.
Very nice. Roll it up. Classic magic missile. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's decent.
Yep, so 10 damage to it.
Damage. Dang. Okay.
Nice.
Pop, pop, pop. The magic zooms from your hand and strikes the chitinous creature, setting it twitching after each impact. It almost seems like if it wasn't grappling Urus, that it might be knocked off balance by such a vicious array of missiles. Okay,
And then
anything else you're gonna do?
as a bonus action, his right hand is going to clench and pull towards him, slamming the flaming sphere into the back of the NKEG fighting Warren.
Good. So here comes another dexterity.
Now, does it get any sort of disadvantage because it's grappling right now?
No. Typically, grappling doesn't apply anything weird in this edition.
Which is strange because you'd think it would have trouble dodging.
Well, it fails anyway.
The targets of grapples also aren't disabled at all, so...
Oh, good news.
Yeah. You just can't move.
Yeah!
How do you want to do this?
Take that.
I suppose the sphere will roll right into it.
It's like a boulder, but on fire.
And it just sort of like melts its way into its
Oh god!
I can hear the
Blast
crunching.
one bug. Yeah, blast one bug with the magic missile. Turn around, help Warren out. Yank the sphere closer with a gesture of your hand. And this magical sphere of eldritch green fire just sizzles its way into the chitin, and it begins boiling at the gooey bits underneath. And the grip upon Warren immediately relents as this creature lets out a final gurgling screech.
Oh, thank God.
Slumps to the ground. Very good. Anything else you're going to do with your turn, Adre?
I believe that's it. I've used my action and my bonus, so...
Very good. Warren, you were spared from the the gross screech of the death cries of this creature because you're currently deaf. As the only thing you can hear is a loud ringing. What do you do?
What? Warren is very confused because, his Warhammer is acting weird. Things are hitting him and catching fire, and then catching more fire. And it's just like, oh god. So he's just like, he's a little disoriented. He's looking around, and he's like, So he goes to swing his Warhammer at the big boy again.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
That's a hit.
Oh,
Bam!
damn.
That's some sad ass damage, though.
That's not very good. Yep.
Just bop.
5 damage is 5 damage.
Give him Bob. You're not using any particular smites or anything like that?
No, I needed space mud. I'm almost out of spells.
Which one did you attack, Renard?
The big boy.
Big one?
Big
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Yes. The creature kind of braces itself. You manage to give it a good smack in the head and leave a dent in its chitin, but don't seem to be doing any lasting damage. Which brings us back to Quinn.
Oh boy.
Alright. So this is gonna seem like a weird question. About how tall would you say the cave is?
About it's rather spacious, probably about 15 feet up.
Okay. Just curious. So, so to start my turn,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to use my bonus action for this turn to invoke Giant's Might. And as Quinn does this, a rune lights up on the side of his face, the rune for Giant, which no one would know, but it's fine. And thanks to Giant's Might, he grows to the size of large, which in this case is 10 feet tall.
Okay, so you get big.
You do get
You do get big.
Yep.
That big.
Are you
I have
Quinn? No,
advantage.
am big.
No, I'm big.
God. I have advantage on strength checks and saving throws, and I can add a 1d6 damage on my turn.
Okay.
And this lasts for 1 minute.
1 minute. So the Harangon becomes Lorg
Lorg.
before your very eyes. What do you do with your new stature, looking down at these bugs beneath you?
Haragon, more like Heron Large.
So I guess now I'm close enough to hit this one by Oris, aren't I?
You are. Yeah, now that you take up that space.
I
Now,
do.
remember, you do have an inspiration, so you could try that power attack again.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't you worry.
Okay.
So Quinn decides to turn around, and knowing Udist is a little squishier than like he or Warren, decides to swing his great axe for this bug here.
Okay.
Find the right attack. And then
Oh, hang on. You have advantage. It's a
You
strength.
have advantage. Yes.
What? Do I?
Well, so wait a minute. It advances on strength checks
Well,
and strength
strength
saving
check,
throws, but not
but I don't
necessarily
think
on
it-
attack rolls.
One sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to double check on that.
Yeah, attacking is not a strength check.
Oh no, you're right. In 5e, attacks aren't ability checks,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
or are they?
Or are they?
Question mark.
And I know that D6 won't help at all. So.
Yeah, one's auto miss, so.
I mean, do I still get advantage since I'm attacking from the back?
You
Oh,
are,
flanking?
You know
Yeah, you have
what?
flanking. You have flanking.
Yeah, I am.
Flanking is a thing, so yeah, I'll give you advantage for that. Yeah, I was racking my
Yeah.
brain of how I can give you a reroll, but go ahead. Yeah, you're flanking, so you get it this. Okay,
Okay.
very good. So it ends up being
now-
a 10.
And now I'm gonna add the 1d6 from my
Okay.
inspiration.
13.
Oh, that
13.
just hits.
Let's go.
That
Oh.
just hits. Okay, so you
Sorry.
not only get your damage, but then also a plus 10,
get a
and then
plus 10,
1d6.
Let's say 1d6. So
Yes.
let's roll.
Oh, but you get to reroll that. You
Okay,
get to
no,
reroll that.
We're rerolling. All right. It's fine. So we
Splat
get
him. Splat him.
14 thanks
14.
to my great weapon master
Yes, and then
plus
plus
a
1d6.
1d6.
Yep.
Please, God.
Please God,
16.
kill him.
Okay. How do you want to do this?
Oh, thank
So-
God. Jesus Christ.
When he turns around to face this thing, seeing that it is facing away from him, he just brings the great axe up and cleaves it down and probably slices the thing's head off.
Oh yeah, you bring it straight down, going through head and torso and abdomen, straight through, leaving this creature in 3 separate parts from one strike.
Oh, Jesus.
Splat. It falls apart. Urist is freed from its grasp, and the stench of its corpse quickly fills the air around you.
Much better.
As he does so, he says to Ortist, "Thanks for that."
Or like, thanks for that.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a wealth of good advice and charm.
So, do you do anything else with your turn? That was your action, your bonus action.
So yeah, no, that
Okay,
ends
very
my
good.
turn.
Then we come back to the creatures. Okay.
Con save from the big one.
The big one takes a con save. Okay, very good.
Yes.
Oh, it
It
failed.
failed. So 1d4.
24.
4.
Dang.
4. Okay. So it is looking mighty hurt, and it screeches in dismay. And it will take a disengage
Oh.
to leave.
It's like, no.
And then it is going to burrow immediately under the ground and disappear from sight. However, you are still being harried by the buzzing hunters that are around your head. The one on Warren first will attack. It will hit.
Howard.
And this will do 6 points
Jesus.
of piercing and 6 points of poison damage.
I need the DR so bad. Oh, I'm looking wobbly. Warren ain't looking so good, boys.
Mighty wobbly. Here's the one against the enlarged Harangon, which does miss despite everything.
Despite everything, despite the fact that you're double inside.
However, the one against Urist will hit, and it will do 3 points of piercing and 3 points of poison.
1 point of poison.
1 point of poison. Interesting.
Dwarven resilient?
Poison resistance.
Urist is a dwarf.
Yeah.
You don't want a sting? I've had spicy and chili.
That's
Very good. The remaining Ankeg is then going to try to snap at the larger feast before him with
Does
its
get
bite.
advantage, by the way. Like, I hate to point it out,
It gets advantage.
but I mean, he is facing away from it.
Well, here,
Facing isn't a thing in this game.
Yeah, facing doesn't matter. You're still aware enough of your space. Like, you could be facing, let's say, this way to attack one and then still be guarding against the other and stuff like that.
That's fair.
Have you not seen the Hollywood movies?
It's been a real classic alternative rule set where your miniatures actually have a front and a back, and it's being attacked from the quadrants behind you that can give flanking and such. But that's not typical D&D.
No, not anymore. But it does get a 16. Does that hit?
Yeah, I have a 16, so I think yes.
Very good. So then it will be.
Wait, doesn't
it beats it?
Meets
Okay.
yeah.
It will be 10 points of damage as it nibbles on your thigh. Now you are then grappled because it can grapple a large or smaller creature. So on your turn, you will have to save against that. But we are back to Urist. Urist, you have a couple of flies buzzing around you, and the enlarged Quinn has a creature wrestling him to the ground.
Right. Let's go ahead and start by stabbing the fly that's harassing Urst.
Very good.
So, Urst is going to lash out with. Let's see. What do we want to use here? I think we're going to need the bonus action, so let's go ahead and use the rapier.
Okay.
Stabby stab.
Did it roll? No. Let's try it again.
See.
Well, also, while he's rolling, I just want to ask a quick question
Yes.
to the DM. Are we
Let me
allowed to
reload
run
the
on?
page quick.
Are we allowed to run on top of corpses?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. 'Cause I know some people use it as obstacle, some don't. So I just want to make sure.
Generally, they slump to the ground, and most most corpses won't occupy the entire space that they're in, just like a person does not occupy the entire 5-foot space that they're in. So we assume that you kind of dance around, find purchase with your feet or whatever. So I don't really mind that.
There we are. 15.
Okay. That does hit. Do your damage.
7 piercing damage.
Nice.
7 piercing damage. You whap it, and it buzzes angrily at you, chittering as it goes.
You just hear.
Very good.
Oh, fat boy.
And with the bonus action, let's go ahead and drop a healing word on Warren, who looks like he needs it.
Just a little bit.
Go ahead and roll that up.
Pull yourself together, lad. There's more to fight yet.
You can't hear you.
No, you can. The deafness was only
okay.
for a turn.
Okay.
That's as you get slashed and bitten and stung and all these kinds of things. Finally, the first thing you hear is Urst's voice calling out from your deafness, and you feel a little bit better.
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
It's kind of stumbled around.
That. Let's see. Can this be moved up freely?
Yes. It's short enough that you can move that up. Yeah, you can move up that relatively easily.
Let's go ahead and adjust to give anybody who wants to flanking.
Very good. Okay. So then we come back to Clume. Clume, your hearing is
Okay.
returned. You hear now the chittering of the creatures and the buzzing and the shouts of your allies.
Okay. What do you call it? Well, since Uris moved, I would assume, like, Clume would hear Uris, like, moving out of the way, kind of saying, kind of what Alex said, like, come over here, you can flank him or something like that. So, bonus action, I'm going to cast, actually,
You're not currently engaged by anything.
I know, well, yeah, like, I was wondering with a bonus if I could cast something.
Okay.
'Cause I do have bonus action spells, luckily.
Very
But
nice.
what I'm going to do is, alright, so hearing Unis call out, Clume is going to kind of like move over to flank the bug.
Okay.
And you see her kind of putting her staff kind of like on her back. And you see from within her glove, she pulls out a dagger.
Very nice.
And I'm going to attempt to stab it. Go stabby
Okay,
mode.
with advantage because you are flanking.
Yeah. Okay, dagger.
I imagine Clume like jumping and kind of but you absolutely hit with your dagger.
Sniper.
Okay.
Shank it time.
So that is going to be. Let me click on
Jumping
it.
and waving the dagger in the air.
Yes.
Do 5 points of piercing damage.
How do you want to do this?
So I kind of imagine Clume, like, since the dead corpse of the body is right there, she kind of like jumps off of it and just like lands on top of it with the dagger and kind of just like splits it right in half.
Very nice. And split in half it does, its wings ceasing its movement and the two halves falling to the ground with a little pop pop.
And then since I still have my bonus action, you see what do you call it? I guess I should have been more specific. I didn't put away the quarterstaff, I put it into my offhand.
Okay, fair enough.
So then bonus action, Clume kind of like gives the dagger a little twirl to get the blood off of it. And then I'm gonna cast Shillelagh onto my other quarterstaff.
Very good. Preparing for the combat ahead. All right.
And that'll be, how much movement? I was right here. So that's 5, 10, 15. So then I am going to move right here.
Perfect.
And that'll
Okay.
be the end.
That'll be the end. Then we come to Adre, who has been slinging spells left and right. What do you do next?
Well, it's gonna keep going.
It's gonna keep going.
Very good.
With the staff in his left hand, Audrey is going to sweep across in front of him, and 3 more missiles will form. 2 of them arcing to the right to slam into the bug harassing Warren. 1 arcing to the left to slam into the little buzzy bastard by Quinn.
Okay, very good. Then do the 2 against the buzzing bug by Warren.
Okay. Oh, I accidentally rolled 1. Sorry.
Fine, you can just do it again.
All right. So that was 4 and 3.
Nice.
So
okay.
7.
Very good. That one has been defeated, and then to the other one.
Woohoo. And
The little ones don't have many hit points.
Thank God.
Well,
that one takes 2.
Very good. So how do you want to kill that one by Warren?
I think just a wonderful little, the 2 slam into it, and then just like a split second later, it puffs up and then explodes
Yes.
as the magical energy forces into it.
The force energy, pop, pop, it slams against the wall. It kind of swells with this magical force and then bursts. Its guts kind of splattering against the wall.
like something out of Akira.
Fair enough. How delightful.
And then with his
Okay.
free hand, he's going to sweep it to the left, slamming the flaming orb into the other
boy.
full-size
The other
Ankeg.
big boy. Its dex is +0, which means what's the DC against it?
14.
Meets it.
Beats it, beats it. So it takes half damage.
4 damage, yep.
So plus another 4. Very good.
We're here. We might as well investigate.
Just like
Press
the,
on.
the mother trying to drag their kid out of the car to go to school.
It's like, no, you're going on adventures whether you want to or not. Warren's like,
Press on, pushing forth into the cave, turning a corner where a natural bend in the rock has the bugs seem to have taken advantage of. The stench gets worse.
oh no.
It is rather choking, cloying at your nose. It becomes harder to breathe, and it's less about the detritus now and something more disgustingly biological.
There it
The
is.
largest of them, still damaged from the previous battle, protecting a clutch of slime-coated eggs that wiggle and squirm occasionally as she quickly uses her back legs to try to keep them in a safe little huddle, hissing and spitting and chittering at you as the other creatures begin to appear from other holes in the walls, watching, waiting for you to approach closer.
Come on, please.
It's going to be a big ask. That's a 4 plus your 11 is a 15, which just hits. As we have established. And that does 10 bludgeoning damage. How do you want to do this?
There we go. Jeez,
All
this
right.
thing had so much health.
So we, keep it with the earth
you
theme.
hush, you hush, chat. In person, he would have had the dice sitting right in front of him.
It's true.
I forgot
It's
about
true.
that. So he slams the. He goes for the headshot and he hits it on the top of the head. However, for some reason, it seems to like go with some more force. And he slams it right to the ground, causing a small little tiny crater. Just kind of pressing the head of this bug just further and further into the dirt.
And the hammer comes down.
The hammer comes down.
And between the rest of you, you manage to dispatch the rest of the bugs, in this place, because there's something I want to describe that happens.
Oh, baby.
As the queen finally dies to Warren's great smack in the ground, aided by the magical effects of bardic inspiration and the aid of his allies, the queen gives a final death spasm, its legs kind of lashing out, but missing you all as you deftly dodge out of the way, and it finally expires with a final death hiss. From that impact crater where Warren struck, 2 energies reach out towards the eggs.
Uh-oh.
One energy is like, it almost resembles the burrowing bugs themselves at a much smaller scale. And it reaches to 2 of the eggs, and you see a stone spike suddenly straight up out of each, spearing the eggs, sending bug ooze to wither and spill across the nest. The other energy is like a shadow, reaching for the other 3 eggs, grasping them and crushing them slowly as they wither and turn to ash.
Warren, what have you done?
And then the earth spikes slide gently back into the ground, the shadow dissipates,
Slide to the left.
Slide.
and you are left with a completely desiccated nest.
Oh.
So,
You need to pick your god soon.
looks like they're all dead. Warren, you want to explain that?
Warren's like, alright. He's like looking at his hands, he's looking at his warhammer, he's just like looking around like, I think I may have overdone it. Maybe I have more than one god now? Is that possible? Warren seems very confused and slightly concerned.
First rolls in knowledge religion.
Okay. Paladins are divine beings, right?
Divinely powered, yes.
Divinely powered. They get their abilities from service to a deity. You know this. Everyone knows this.
Everyone knows this.
This is the way it should be going, right? What you're seeing unfold before you resembles more like a story that you remember. A book that you had read when you were a little bit younger. It was a drama. A drama of a warlock that was torn between their allegiance to two different kingdoms and to two different patrons. One patron, a very real person that was the king of one of the kingdoms, and the other patron, a mysterious aberration that was in charge of the other kingdom. And they were at war with each other across realms. It was a very fantastical story. Nothing that would ever happen in this day and age. And yet it was a compelling story, and it comes to mind now. This idea that you could have this war, this competition between, two incredibly powerful beings across different realms of magic and space. And what you see now brings that to mind. Paladins get their abilities from a divine source that they worship. But in this case, Warren, this very strange individual, something else is occurring.
Can I roll a Arcana check? Because that may not be divine in nature, right?
First goes ahead and gives the basics.
22.
Well, I cannot say that any paladin I have ever seen was empowered by multiple deities before. I do remember stories of where similar folks, and warlocks were found their loyalties split between multiple masters, and when that happens, sometimes the way it goes for them isn't always pleasant. Of course, depending on how it works out, their powers might come from either patron or both.
So Warren, hearing this, right? He slowly turns to look at you, his mouth agape. It's like, so what you're saying is I have two deities? He's just vibrating.
If you are very, very, very lucky, it's only the two.
I could have more!
Well, now, how do I explain this in a way that Warren will best understand?
Warren's like that kid who hears their parents are getting a divorce and focuses on the two Christmases.
Wow.
You gotta look at the positives.
Yeah. Like, one of his traits is he's just super optimistic.
Yeah. But you said all the eggs got destroyed? What was it that Warren's energy got destroyed?
The eggs, the NK eggs.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because Clume was about to destroy them. Make sure those fucks don't come back around.
Yep. No, you run in, after the final death blow, and you see that the eggs have already been somehow destroyed. 2 of them have been impaled, as if by a spear, and the other 3 seem to have been crushed, and then the contents turned to ash.
Warren is he's nearly just jumping up and down. He's like, oh, there's so much glory I could have. How do I serve both at the same? Oh, I gotta.
Warren, if you're finding yourself sort of in multiple masters, then you generally want to do one of 2 things.
I need to find both their temples and pray twice as hard.
That's one possibility. If you're going about and doing that, however, you're gonna want to make sure that both of them are okay with the arrangement. You don't want to be praying around on one of them now.
Is this like?
You don't want to be a god whore.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just
A godstitute.
a god's
Oh my god.
A dirty prey around.
I mean, technically speaking, I suppose this would be a rather different definition of temple prostitute. But the second thing you could do, of course, is to simply pick one and focus your devotion thereupon.
Oh, my lungs. So Warren. Give me a second. It's like he looks at you kind of confused. He like tilts his head to the side and like, I don't understand. Gods don't. What do you mean? Obviously, if they chose me at the same time, then they must be getting along. I'm just that great. Yes, I am devout. I knew it would pay off. It paid off so well, in fact, that both. Yes, no, this is fine. This is fine.
I'm gonna die.
Did we also say what happened with Audrey and his 22 Arcana?
Yes, I was just getting to that. After the filthy prey around just totally sent me.
Sorry.
Oh my god. It was in fact not fine. So with your Arcana check, you hear this explanation and you kind of examine the evidence as you see it, and you also come to the same kind of conclusion that this is more warlocky than paladin-y. The fact that Warren doesn't even know the gods or the patrons at work here really strikes you as incredibly unusual.
Concerning.
Yeah, concerning if nothing else. And that's what kind of draws you to that same kind of conclusion. This feels more like there are forces at work well beyond your, well, especially well beyond Warren's capacity for understanding.
Oh yeah.
And that stories of warlocks that displease their patrons usually don't end well.
Goodness. Warren is very excited.
You guys have defeated your foes. You've cleared out the Ankeg den. Is there anything else you wish to do while you're here before you head back?
There was a number of humanoid bodies. Maybe we should search them.
Yes, indeed.
Search more
Sounds like a
properly.
plan.
Okay. If you would all like to make perception or investigation checks.
Oh boy. Where to loot?
I think Quinn would also like to just double check around to make sure there's no other eggs or anything hiding anywhere.
Nat
Absolutely.
20 on
Nice.
perception.
Nice. Very nice.
26 total. Ow, I scratched myself when I said that.
Damn. 6.
Let's see where we can find that. There it is. Hey, 7.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'll see your 7 and meet you with a 4.
Warren
So,
getting the lowest roll.
Yeah, Quinn, Urist, and Warren are kind of dirtling about, kind of looking through things, but not really finding a whole heck of a lot of anything. Quinn, you're looking for those eggs, and it looks like the ones that were here have been destroyed, but you just double check, maybe give them a good smack just in case. Adre, you and Klume kind of make your way back down to the corpses that you had found before, remembering that there were satchels, and between your dark vision, you're able to search through them. Adre, you find a pouch containing 25 gold,
Woohoo!
as well as a hold on one second.
He has to roll on the loot table.
I do. You find a scroll of identify. A single-use scroll.
That's
Interesting.
rare. Holy shit.
Yes, indeed.
Zafane, do you know Identify already or no?
No, I don't. I didn't take
You know
it
what this
because,
means?
I can copy it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Good stuff.
Oh, snap. Then,
every spell book.
Clume. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this generator to work here.
Make sure you copy that into every spell book you make.
Right? Yeah, copy it a couple of times just in case.
Just in case.
Bear with me for just a second, Clume, because you did roll super high.
I know. +6 perception.
Yes. So, go ahead and roll for me a 1d100.
A D100? Oh god. Ooh. 95.
Okay. Roll 4d6.
4d6?
Every
3,
spell book.
4, 5, and 1.
Okay. You find a pouch containing 130 gold.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And then
The good stuff.
go ahead and roll one more d100.
Oh, Jesus. 18.
18. Okay. You also find in one of the pouches a red shimmering potion.
Oh, God.
Huh.
Well, we know what you're going to use Identify on once you copy it.
Correct.
Not just use it
All
now.
right.
What do you mean?
I was waiting for Riley to say, "You pull out a deck," and I was going to slap it out of her hands.
It's like, no.
No, that I would have to roll. Let's see, where is that one? No, that's going to be a little ways down the line. I love the deck of many things, but
God. The
Give it to
Deck of
Ward.
Things actually scares the shit out of me.
yeah, well, it should.
All right, so let me see if I got all that. So we've got a red potion, a scroll of identify that's going right to Ardre, Adre. Bleh.
Adre.
Every time for some reason. And you said 130 gold total?
Plus the 25 that Adre found, so 155 gold total.
Very good. So if we want to split that up right now, everyone gets 31.
Ooh.
Seems good to me.
Adre and Clume, do you guys share your gold that you found? I guess is the first question I would ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna well, I can't speak for Bloom, but I will.
Clume kind of she holds the potion for herself. 'Cause that seems to be the more interesting thing.
Yeah.
She'll share the gold.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So add a red potion to your inventory, Clume, and then the rest of you, everyone, adds 31 gold.
Yep.
Very good.
Nice little extra reward. Okay.
You guys are welcome.
Yeah, that was really good.
And we'll see what
Thank you.
sort of payment and such we'll get moving forward.
Yes, indeed. So, with the Ankegs defeated and loot acquired, you step back out of the cave and are meted with a drizzle. The heavy rain has kind of given up. It seems that the storm is passing steadily by. And the way back is muddy, mucky, but at least much more pleasant outside than it was inside of the stanky den.
Yes.
Perhaps you use the rain to help wash away some of the bug guts that you might have gotten on your weapons and other things. There is the creek that is, flowing with fresh, clean water that you can drink from safely, and you can wash yourselves and get that stank out of your nose. We assume that you do so because coming back into town covered in bug guts would not be a very good look.
No.
Yeah.
And you make your way back the mile trek back down the gently sloping hill to town. The walls loom above, and even though it felt like a long time that you were dealing with these bugs after combat, death and carnage, and wounds and all sorts of things, it's not even noon. You come back in time for lunch.
Huh.
Oh.
And that,
I think we've all earned a stiff drink.
and as you approach the gates, Tiki the gate guard puts up a hand to halt you in your
Warren
tracks.
waves excitedly.
And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Man.
That was some really great combat. You guys, all of you, seriously powered up.
With a single level, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
the rune powers and the spells and the crossbow bolts, the javelin. That was really, really cool.